So, after doing a few videos where I drink some booze, play Sonic games, among others, while expounding upon my views about the Sonic series, I figured I could do a bit more with that, and since I've discovered a lot of people online are offering their views about the series and various different subjects within it, I figure, why not do my own series of Sonic videos, and so this is the start of that. And today, we're going to address what seems to be the current topic of great interest, which is Sonic OCs, and more specifically, the custom character creator contained within Sonic Forces that seems, or at least people say seems, to be catering to that. And everybody's been talking about this, their opinions, and so I figured I'd maybe weigh in with mine. So, I'll be perfectly honest. Firstly, I made an OC character before it was cool. Like, it's my understanding that that's, as far as I know, started with the Dreamcast era onward, like roughly from Sonic Adventure all the way through, I don't know, Shadow the Hedgehog. I even say, if we're going to be going there, Sonic 2006, since it was a shitty game, but it did use a lot of characters. So that was the window of time when people would create original Sonic characters. Or maybe that's just when it became infamous, since by that time everyone was online. But I created an original Sonic character long before that. It would have been maybe around the time of Sonic and Knuckles. It was a cat, and it didn't look like Big the Cat or Blaze the Cat. It actually, if I remember correctly, looked a little bit like Sylvester. And I know what it looked like because I actually drew it. I drew it standing, I think I drew it running, I even drew it in a ball, which was just a colored circle, so I don't even know why I thought I had to draw that. But, yeah, I created a cat character, and no, I don't have the drawing anymore, but, yeah. So, I understand also that people who have done this original character business have gotten quite infamous online for their original characters not being particularly original and being kind of embarrassing forms of ego flexing, and I get that too, but if we're going to talk about this Sonic Forces mechanic and why it's being accused of being a shout-out to that element of the fandom that a lot of people particularly hold in low regard. I'll be honest, this Sonic Forces thing seems to fall short even of what those OC types would expect it to be. So, whereas a lot of people are gonna either criticize it for catering to that, or maybe even praise it for catering to that, I'm criticizing it because it's falling short of that. And when I say it's falling short, what I mean, in essence, is that it only gives a pretty limited set of options with regards to how this character looks and how this character functions. Now, granted, I haven't played the game, obviously, it's not out yet, it hasn't been demoed yet, so far as I know, and certainly that part of it hasn't been demoed, and all we've got is a few little videos of this OC business and some information about it. But even then, even with that stuff revealed, I don't think this thing looks that good, and I am fully aware of what it's being compared to, the phenomenon of fans creating their original character, and it still looks worse. So, yeah, I'm not going to praise this. I'm going to take it to task a little bit. So, we've seen the videos. I'm pretty sure if you haven't, you can just go look for them anywhere. Here I'm going to read the blurb they put out from Sonic Stadium. The third character for Sonic Forces have been announced, and the rumors were true. You can now create your own playable custom character. In a trailer published by Sega, a spectacled red wolf is shown running alongside classic and modern Sonic. Okay, Sonic Stadium fixed that. You say id. As the sequence continues, the character changes design and expression. The new hero then uses a grappling hook to attack a group of giant robots. The trailer continues by showing off some of the character's gameplay, including how the character creation system will work, that both male and female characters are available, and that there appears to be a significant amount of options available for customizing appearance. According to reports from other outlets, there are a number of different species to choose from, each with their own abilities. Rabbit has longer invincibility time after receiving damage. Wolf automatically draws and rings when near them. Cat keeps one ring after being hit. I'm going to assume that means unless it just has one ring, that it loses that one ring. Dog restarts with 5 rings after the player dies. Bear blows away enemies with a homing attack. Bird flies high with double jump abilities. Hedgehog collects rings when getting damaged. I'm pretty sure that was always the case with every species in every Sonic game before now, but I'm not quite sure. Alongside the character creation details, the trailer also demonstrated some extended gameplay of the created character in Park Avenue. Alright, so why do I have a problem with this? Why do I feel inclined to criticize it based on what it's being compared to and what I knew for the Sonic series? Basically, because it's so limiting with regards to its mechanics, which basically are par for the course with modern Sonic these days, that it actually sucks out a lot of the romance. I might as well... I'd say appeal. Romance is being pretentious. It sucks out a lot of the appeal it would seem to me there is with creating your own character, because you're dealing with a very limited set of abilities and arbitrary logic, and again, to compare this to stuff that would be naturally to compare to, this falls short of what Sonic was in a lot of our opinions. For example, Rabbit has longer invincibility time after receiving damage. What happened to rabbits that were robots, or rabbits that could flap their ears to fly? A cat keeps one ring after being hit. Well, what about cats that can shoot fire out of their feet to hover? Hedgehog, that pretty much speaks for itself. So, where I'm getting at with this is that when people create their original characters on DeviantArt or Tumblr or whatever, the stereotype, which is somewhat true, is that they're going to flex their ego. They aren't necessarily going to go creative, but they do have giants upon the shoulders of which to stand on. And so they'll give their characters a wide array of species, or at least species that were actually in this series before, and they'll give their characters abilities of the sort that you have seen before. So again, since when is Hedgehog collects rings when damaged appealing prospect? We've seen hedgehogs that run super fast, hedgehogs that have hammers, hedgehogs that have telekinesis, hedgehogs that can shoot explosions out their body when they become evil enough. I went there. So, all of this is very limiting from the prospect of the premise that it's catering to the people who want to create their own characters, or more specifically, the people who have created their own characters in, say, the past decades, which is when it really took off, as far as I remember. So, you're, say, playing as female hedgehog who's green and wears a black blazer. Well, you're just going to collect rings when damaged while wielding flamethrowers and grappling hooks, because we said so. You want to be a bear that's yellow, male, and wears a top hat? Well, it's just going to be you homing, attacking, and using the same weapons. And again, all this is limiting. This is far short of what people on DeviantArt and Tumblr and the like imagine Sonic character creation should be about. And so, I want to end this episode by explaining that for all the people who are mocking this by mocking the Sonic fandom, I don't think the Sonic fandom deserves the degree of mockery it gets. Not anymore, because at this point, a lot of them are far more competent than the people who are actually getting paid to work on Sonic games. So you say, for example, I might be overanalyzing this and say that maybe analyzing how this stacks up to how the fans regard character creation, you might say that's being nitpicky. But see, it's not just here. Fans do better at creating physics engines. Fans have done better at creating Sonic games in both 3D and 2D. They actually got one set of fans, the Taxman and his crew, to make Sonic Mania, which I assume is a tacit admission by Sonic Team that they can't do it. They don't know how to do this stuff anymore. And so this character creation just seems like the same old shit. Sega has fallen short of its fans and their capacity to do Sonic-related stuff. However much you would have mocked the fans, Sega's actually more pathetic in these cases. And, by the way, another reason I don't think I'm going overboard and nitpicking this bit is because nothing else in this game looks that good to me either. I mean, we've got a mechanic that ultimately isn't too make or break with regards to gameplay. I mean, it wouldn't be make or break with regards to gameplay at all if the gameplay was good, so even though I'd prefer you have a more diverse range of gameplay with which to make your original characters do a more diverse array of abilities, all the limits would be forgivable if what they gave you to work with looked good to me. Well, it doesn't look good to me. This looks like, you know what, I might as well say it. This kind of looks like Shadow the Hedgehog with how it has this dark tone going about it, and characters picking up weapons. That's what your original characters do, basically. They pick up grappling guns, they pick up flamethrowers, there's probably going to be other gadgets, but that's basically what they do. They pick up weapons. And so, and then there's boost-driven modern Sonic. I don't like it. I said as much before in those drunken rave videos. I'll say it again. I'll say it again in a future episode of Sonic Sperg-Out as well. But that's my opinion about modern Sonic. As to classic Sonic, well, to be frank, he's more fun because he's weaker. He doesn't have the boost, which means level design can be more challenging. But they still don't know how to program physics, as I said before. And now that we've got two Sonic games coming out at the same year, which both call back to Green Hill Zone and Classic Sonic, obviously people are going to compare them. Mania looks better, and Mania is being done by people who, a few years ago, were just fan game developers. So again, that just displays how incompetent Sega has been. So this custom character stuff, I guess I'll have to wait and see, but I don't plan on buying this game as of now. I do plan on buying Mania. I'll listen to the Sonic fanbase to see how well this game fits their ideals. I don't want to listen to critics at IGN because they've burnt all their bridges at this point. I'm not looking forward to Sonic Forces. It's not going to break the brand. It's probably not going to be terrible, but it's not going to be very remarkable in a good way either. So yeah, not just a character creator, but the gameplay you do with custom created character, as well as gameplay you do with classic Sonic and gameplay you do with modern Sonic, doesn't look appealing to me, and that's that. So that just about wraps up this episode.